Love them or hate them, one truth cannot be denied. The Duterte family has forever changed the balance of power in the Philippines. From the southern city of Davao all the way to Malacanang Palace, the Duterte name has become a symbol of authority, loyalty, and controversy. Every nation has a family name that commands power. In Argentina, it's the Perons, a dynasty built on charisma and control. In India, the Gandhis, heirs to the Nehru legacy, adored by loyalists yet criticized by rivals for their grip on politics. In Singapore, the Lees, led by Lee Kuan Yew, feared and respected as the architect of modern Singapore. And in the Philippines, it is undeniably the Dutertes, the family that turned Davao into their fortress and carried their style of leadership all the way to the presidency. It all began with Rodrigo Duterte, the fiery mayor of Davao who rose to the presidency and redefined Philippine politics with his iron fist rule. But the Duterte story did not end with him. His children, Sara, Paolo, Baste, and Kitty, have each carved their own role in the Duterte empire. Some wield power through politics. Others exert influence through image, networks, or cultural reach. Today, the Duterte name is still alive in every election, every debate, and every rally. For their supporters, they represent strength, fearlessness, and Southern pride. For their critics, they are a dynasty that refuses to step aside. Either way, the Dutertes remain at the center of conversations about authority and influence in this country. In this video, we take a closer look at the 4 Duterte siblings. But unlike the usual political stories, we rank them using a clear set of rules. Not based on bias, not on speculation, but on measurable factors that define who among them is truly the most powerful. We measure their political clout, networks, public influence, and cultural reach. Each factor carries weight, so the ranking is fair and balanced. By the end, we will see who dominates the Duterte dynasty today, and who may carry its power the farthest into the future. Hello everyone, welcome back to FunFact. If you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and of course, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. What is this ranking about? This ranking isn't about who's the most famous, or who gets the most likes online. It's about power, real and perceived. Among the Duterte siblings, we're asking, who holds the strongest position? Who commands the widest network? And who has the influence to shape the future of the Duterte legacy? Why is this important? Because in Philippine politics, raw power decides who survives dynasties. Titles can be lost, elections can be overturned, and wealth can vanish. But true power, built on influence and control, is harder to take away. For the Dutertes, their future as a political force depends not only on votes, but on which sibling can consolidate authority, sustain networks, and outlast rivals. This ranking doesn't just tell us who's powerful right now. It reveals who is most capable of steering the Duterte legacy forward, not just with name recall, but with real muscle. How we built our ranking. Now, how do we measure who's the most powerful Duterte sibling? Power isn't just about holding an office or winning an election. It's about reach, resources, and influence across different fronts. To make this fair and balanced, we created a scoring system, assigning specific weights to each factor. This way, we avoid bias and rely on benchmarks that can be tracked, debated, and compared. Here are the 4 pillars of our ranking. 1. Institutional and political power, 25%. Formal authority matters. We look at the positions they hold, their electoral mandate, and their influence in government or local politics. 2. Network and connections, 25%. Power is amplified by alliances. We examine their political networks, business ties, and ability to mobilize allies across different sectors. 3. Public image and social influence, 25%. Even the powerful need legitimacy. We measure how they are seen by the public, approval ratings, social media strength, and influence over mass opinion. 4. Cultural, financial, or intellectual capital, 25%. Not all power comes from politics. Wealth, cultural impact, and even intellectual authority contribute to influence. We factor in visibility, respect, and influence outside politics. Together, these 4 categories give us a balanced and measurable way to find out which Duterte sibling truly holds the crown as the most powerful of them all. And with these criteria in place, let's now meet the siblings, starting with the youngest, Kitty Duterte. Veronica Kitty Duterte. The youngest Duterte, Kitty, is the family's fresh face. Free from scandals and controversies, she radiates charm and likability, appealing to those who value integrity and authenticity. Though she hasn't stepped into formal politics yet, her clean image and growing social influence make her a sibling to watch. 1. Institutional and political power. Kitty hasn't held political office yet, so she has no formal authority or electoral mandate. Having considered all factors, she scores 0% here. A clean slate, but currently untested in institutional power. 2. Network and connections. She benefits from the Duterte family name, which gives her some early influence, but her personal network remains limited. Factoring all these elements, Kitty earns 85% for network and connections. 3. Public image and social influence. Kitty is widely admired, especially among younger audiences, and her social media presence is strong. She is untainted by scandals and resonates positively with the public. Considering all of this, Kitty scores a thrilling 90% here. 4. Cultural, financial, or intellectual capital. Through media appearances, advocacy, and lifestyle influence, Kitty has carved a recognizable cultural presence. She hasn't yet amassed wealth or formal intellectual authority, but her influence is real. Taking everything into account, she earns 85% in this category. Total score. After calculating and adjusting for the inapplicability of institutional power, Kitty's pro-rated score is 86.67%. A solid performance for the youngest sibling with untapped potential. Baste Duterte. Known as the laid-back rock star mayor of Davao, Baste combines charisma with real political authority. He carries the Duterte legacy with flair, balancing governance with a lifestyle that resonates strongly with the youth. His networks and influence make him a formidable sibling in terms of power. 1. Institutional and political power. Baste is currently the acting mayor of Davao City, while his father is at the ICC in The Hague. This puts him in a position of real authority, managing city governance and local executive decisions. His formal power is solid and visible to constituents. Taking all this into account, he scores 85%. 2. Network and connections. Baste's influence is amplified by his extensive networks. He maintains strong ties with Davao loyalists and is gradually building national connections. His alliances across political and social circles significantly enhance his capacity to exert power. Considering these networks, he earns 88%. 3. Public image and social influence. Baste is admired for his rock star mayor image, approachable personality, and relatable style. Positive engagement online reinforces his legitimacy, while minimal controversies help maintain a favorable public perception. Factoring this in, he receives 88%. 4. cultural, financial, or intellectual capital. Baste's cultural capital is his strongest non-political asset, built on his image as a musician, surfer, and relatable youth figure. His media presence and family ties boost his visibility and access to resources. But lacking independent wealth, major projects, or intellectual achievements, his influence remains more symbolic than institutional. Considering these elements, he scores 88%. Total score. After tallying Baste's political authority, networks, public influence, and cultural capital, his total score is 87.25%. Sara Duterte. Sara is the powerhouse of the Duterte clan. With national recognition as vice president and a track record of electoral victories, she commands respect, loyalty, and admiration across the Philippines. Her political clout, connections, and public influence clearly put her ahead of her siblings. 1. Institutional and political power. Sara is Vice President of the Philippines and has a strong record as Davao City Mayor. Her positions grant her real authority over governance, policymaking, and national influence. Considering her formal power and proven executive leadership, she scores 95%. 2. Network and connections. Her power is amplified by a vast network of political allies, loyalists, and influential figures. She can mobilize support, resources, and party machinery across the country. Given her extensive connections, she earns 92%. 3. Public image and social influence. Sara enjoys a largely positive public image, admired for her toughness, decisiveness, and leadership style. Her social media presence and public recognition reinforce her legitimacy. Factoring this widespread respect and influence, she gets 90%. 4. Cultural, financial, or intellectual capital. Sara is visible in media, respected for her leadership, and commands cultural authority. While her financial independence and intellectual achievements are moderate, her influence through example and public persona adds to her overall power. Considering these factors, she scores 90%. Total score. After calculating all the pillars and factoring in her broad influence, Sara's total score is 91.75%. Paolo Duterte. Paolo, the eldest sibling, holds a mix of experience and notoriety. While he has electoral experience as Davao's 1st District representative, his controversial image and public missteps limit his influence beyond his home turf. Nevertheless, he retains local support and a network that keeps him relevant in the family hierarchy. 1. Institutional and political power. Paolo currently serves as acting mayor of Davao City, giving him real decision-making authority. He controls local governance and leverages the Duterte political machinery effectively. His influence is strong locally, but does not extend nationally. Considering both authority and reach, Paolo earns an 88%. 2. Network and connections. Paolo has built deep political and social networks in Davao and Mindanao, bolstered by the Duterte family name. He is connected with local politicians, business allies, and loyalists. These networks strengthen his power and influence. Given the extent and depth of his connections, he scores 90%. 3. Public image and social influence. Paolo is highly visible, but his image is notorious. Bar fights, corruption allegations, and controversial behavior have damaged his public perception nationally. While he is recognized and retains loyalists locally, admiration outside Davao is weak. This gives him a score of 73%, reflecting recognition but negative influence. 4. Cultural, financial, or intellectual capital. Paolo has moderate wealth and some public recognition through the Duterte brand. However, his academic achievements are less impressive, and cultural resonance is limited outside Davao. He does show some engagement in business and community projects, but not enough to score higher. Considering all factors, he gets 88%. Total score. After factoring in his local authority, networks, public image, and peripheral influence, Paolo's total score comes to 84.75%. After dissecting the power, influence, and reach of each Duterte sibling, one truth stands taller than the rest among the siblings themselves. Sara is unstoppable. She doesn't just hold positions, she commands respect, loyalty, and admiration far beyond her brothers and sister. From Davao to Manila, regional scope to national coverage, her authority, connections, and public influence put her in a league of her own within the Duterte family. Baste impresses with charisma and local dominance, showing that power isn't only about formal positions. Paolo, despite his political office and network, remains weighed down by controversies that limit his clout. And Kitty, pure and untarnished, shines with promise, proving that influence can be earned even without formal authority. This ranking confirms one crucial point. Among the Dutertes, the crown of influence, authority, and unstoppable momentum belongs firmly to Sara Duterte, the most powerful sibling of them all. And that's our deep dive into who really rules the Duterte family when it comes to power. Whether it's political influence, networks, public reach, or cultural clout, Sara clearly stands above her siblings, while Baste, Paolo, and Kitty each show their own strengths. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't just keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another fun fact. Let us know in the comments who you think could rise next in power among the Dutertes, and keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and have a nice and blessed day to all of you.